y'all. I had planned on being here early this morning and us making the cheesecake together and getting it in the freezer for Thanksgiving. But when I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I mix up that little calf's bottle and I get on out there. I push my coffee pot on and I head out there to feed him. Then when I get through, I gather my eggs out of my chicken coop and I come on back up here. And I pour me a cup of coffee, I read my Bible, and then I get started for my day. Well, while I was feeding baby cow this morning, I usually look around and count my other heifers and see what everybody looks like, count all the little calves, look like everything's doing good. Well, I saw number 18, one of my heifers that hasn't calved yet. I saw her way in the back pasture in the corner. And I've been watching her because about 3 days ago I saw that she had lost her mucus plug. And so I said, well, it's going to be any day. And I told John. So we've been watching. And he goes out about an hour before me, before he leaves, and he feeds them. And he gives them hay if they need that. So we just been watching her. So sure enough, I said, well, when I get through with this bottle, with this baby calf, I'll go check on her. So I walked down there. When I got down there, she was calving. And she got the calf on out. But then she just kept laying there, and the calf kept laying there. Well, I looked up, and there was 10 or 12 buzzards circling. Just circling, wanting to come down. And those of y'all that know about buzzards and baby calves know how gruesome it can get. But they can kill them like that. First thing they do is they get their eyes out, and then they eat all after birth, baby calf, everything. It's just buzzards. I call them the devil flying in the sky. But, so I couldn't leave, and I thought, oh, I wish I had my coffee and my Bible down here. So anyway, I stood there. Well, I stood there for an hour, and Mama never got the sack off the calf, and I thought, come on, you know, because the buzzards wouldn't leave. She's got to get all that cleaned up, and it's her first time, so, you know, all the others earlier this year have been getting right on it like that, but she didn't, so I said, well, I'm going to stay. Well, finally, after about an hour and a half, I said, we need to get this show on the road. I still hadn't had my cup of coffee, so I got on to my, I went over there and I pulled the sack off the little calf myself. And once I did that, she started licking and cleaning him up. But the buzzards, so I thought, okay, and she stood over him. So I said, maybe she'll stand over him just 2 minutes and let me run up to the house and get my cup of coffee and run back down here and babysit. Well, do you know, I wasn't gone any more than 2 minutes. I literally ran in the back door, poured my cup of coffee, and ran back out. And it wasn't fresh, but I thought, whatever, it's coffee. So as I was walking back down that pasture, all those buzzards had landed right down there and was circling around that baby. And that mama, not knowing what that buzzards were up to, she was just standing there, and one of them was literally within striking distance. So I start screaming and hollering, and I'm wailing, get, and I'm screaming and hollering. Meanwhile, I'm trying to hold this cup of coffee still. Finally, I just threw it in the pasture, and I just ran wide open down there. So I got my workout in this morning, right off the bat, and I finally got down there, and those buzzards never left until I got like within 15 feet of them. And I was so thankful that one didn't get at that baby calf's eye or something just in that. So I said, forget it. I just don't need coffee this morning, and I'm not leaving. Y'all, for 3 hours I sat down there waiting on that baby calf to get up and nurse. I thought once he gets up and he's nursing, then he can move around and get away from these calves, and it took him 3 hours. He was a lazy little old thing this morning. So I feel like I've already had a day, and we haven't even got this cheesecake done. I said, doggone it. So I came up here and made me a fresh pot of coffee, and I sat down with that cup of coffee, and I said, I'm reading my Bible. No matter what, I'm going to read my Bible. I know we're starting late, but I'm reading it. So I read my Bible and drank my cup of coffee, and here we are. So we got to get this cheesecake in the oven, and I'm going to let it totally cool before I freeze it. And I do this every year. I have the last several years. And then I'll thaw it in the refrigerator. I can put it in there a couple of days before Thanksgiving, because you need to keep your cheesecake refrigerated anyway. So, and it works just perfectly fine and wonderful. But I just want to tell y'all about my morning. It's been crazy. I wanted to see y'all a lot sooner than now. For my cheesecake, I'm going to start with 4 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese put in my mixer. And they do need to be softened. I had gotten these out just before I made my bottle for my baby cow. And since it's been so long, they are good at room temperature. Yes, they are. So that's on the plus side, isn't it? Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Just rinse them. Okay. I hope this doesn't make too much noise because we're going to make the crust while this is creaming. But into these 4 bricks of cream cheese, 8-ounce bricks, is 1 cup of white granulated sugar. Okay? I know y'all know it's not right until I say okay. I thought I was going to lock it and I turned it on, y'all. Alright, so I locked it. And I'm going to turn it on no more than like medium or medium low, because you do not want to whip a lot of air into your cream cheese, okay? Because that's what makes it rise real pretty and then collapse and maybe crack in the oven. So we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to let it kind of get cream like that. It's looking really good, so I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to forget about it while I'm doing the crust with y'all. And in this bowl, I have got 1 1/2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. And they came out with these several years back, and I had a fit. I was like, yes! Because I used to have to do my graham cracker crumbs like in the food processor and crumb them up like this. Now, just, what do you know? It's like the Queen of Sheba making the cheesecake. So, I bought them, and I usually keep those on hand. And I'll just put what I don't use in a Ziploc bag, and if I'm not going to use them for a while, I'll freeze them, but I know I'll use them all during the holidays. So we've got 1 1/2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Next, we do 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can use white sugar, but I love brown sugar. I know y'all know that by now. So I put brown sugar in my crust because it's just got a little bit more of that caramelly flavor to me. With that molasses. So 3 cups of brown sugar. And then how much butter did I melt? 1/2 stick of butter, or that will be a 1/4 cup of butter, or 4 tablespoons melted, just in case. But melted butter, 1/2 stick. And y'all know we need all of that in there, so I'm going to get that out of there. Alright guys, and I'm just going to start mixing this up. This is going to make our crust. And I got out and let's do a little pinch of salt, y'all. That always helps things. Just that little pinch of salt. Okay. Just mix here. You can use a whisk if you want to. I think I do a lot of times, but it's coming together pretty good. So I'm just going to stick with this. That comes together pretty quick if you stick a whisk in there with it, though. I can't stand it. Let's get one. Making sure I had one I could grab real quick for y'all, because I want to get all my brown sugar little clumps good. And I hope y'all can see this. I've tried to zoom in a good bit on here. I'm filming 2 different ways. YouTube is landscape, as they call it, where to fill the whole screen up, and then on Facebook I'm filming up and down portraits. So whichever way you want to watch me, now you can have me. Alright guys, I have a 9-inch springform pan. When I say springform, I mean that it'll spring open like that, and you'll be able to just raise your cheesecake out of there like that, okay? Let me put it back for us. We don't want it to come out. Make sure you got in there good like that when you close it back and lock it. And I buttered it. I pre-buttered it. Y'all can probably see all that butter down in there. You know, this is the one time I don't do the non-stick cooking spray, because I love the flavor of that butter getting in on the cheesecake. So I did butter it. And we're going to put our graham cracker crust in here. And get it all pressed around real pretty. Put that back in the dishwater out of our way. And something I use You do whatever you want to do. You can press it with your hand, but I have this sort of flat bottomed cup measure that I measured out my 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and I'll use it because it does real nicely. Pushing it around in there. And I want to show y'all, I pushed just a tiny bit up on the side, okay? So it'll just have a little bitty lip of a crust when you cut your cheesecake. Nothing major. No major amount up on the side, just a little bitty bit, just to kind of hold your cheesecake there when you pull the outside of the springform pan off. There we go. Get it nice and pretty and kind of pushing it down so it'll have a nice edge on it. But y'all see what this, I'll show y'all what this, see what the bottom of this cup does? It does it just pretty as you please, doesn't it? So I like that. Yes, I do. Okay, guys, what do we need next? Alright, we've got our crust. Now let's get back over here to our cheesecake. When we started creaming the sugar, 1 cup of sugar, with the cream cheese. Let me wash him off, because I'm going to use him. I always love to keep me some hot soapy water in the kitchen as I'm cooking. Do y'all? You can just wash your stuff real quick as you go. And it still gets ahead of you, doesn't it? I know. But what I'm going to do is push this, or scrape the sides down is what I'm trying to say. I've seen these mixers now that come with a side scraper on this big beater. And I might have to spring and get me one year. Yeah. And that's another thing, y'all. Don't use a whisk attachment like this. Don't use that doing a cheesecake either, because that will whip too much air into your cheesecake batter. And even on like your mixer, don't do that, okay? Because you don't want to whip too much air into your cheesecake. That will cause him to crack as well. You just got to kind of, it's not hard to make a cheesecake. You just got to just kind of pay attention what you do. And we're not going to overmix this. We don't want to whip too much air into it. Which really, if you make any cake, a box cake or a by scratch cake, you do not need to whip it really on high speeds, because you do whip too much air into them. And they'll rise real pretty, and those too will collapse on you. So just don't do that. Just medium. And on this cheesecake, I'll do like medium low like that. Might turn it up just a second like that. I hope y'all can see that, how nice and creamy it already is with that sugar. I'm going to scrape the side down one more time, and we will move along. Yes, we will. Okay. And I've got my oven heating to 350 degrees, okay? Now, with it on medium low, I'm going to add 1 egg at a time, and I already have 5 of my fresh eggs in here. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. 5, yes, 5 eggs. And I add 1 at a time and let it get incorporated, okay? 1. Just let it kind of mix around, get incorporated. 2. I think 2 fell down in there together, but that's okay. No, I don't think it did. I don't know. If it does, just don't sweat it. 3. Like I say, it doesn't take just a few seconds. 4. About to get it. Cheesecake is my most favorite. Number 5 egg is my most favorite flavor that I know of in the whole wide world. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now I'm going to scrape my sides down now, because it's up on the sides still pretty good. Let that mix. Whoop. I'm a messy little thing, aren't I? I almost dripped you down in my salt. I need to move him out of the way. Alright, guys. I got that mixed. Now, something I love to put in here, you don't have to if you don't want to, is just a squeeze of lemon, because lemon is like salt. It enhances the flavors of things, but lemon also holds the flavor of things, or a citrus. It doesn't have to be lemon, but lemon in here, and you don't taste it at all, okay? And I like to squeeze it, if I'm just going to squeeze it with my hand, with it cupped up like that. That way, no seeds fall down in my cheesecake. Now I'm just squeezing a half of a lemon right there. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
John just came in. He came in. Did you go check on the baby cow?
I went check on baby calf. Him and his mama rested.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And no buzzards. No buzzards. Good deal. And then I'll put a tablespoon of vanilla, y'all. A whole tablespoon. I love vanilla in here. That vanilla flavor. That's going to be good, isn't it? And the only other thing I put in here is a 1/4 cup of sour cream. And the reason why I do this, I read years back that sour cream also has something in it. Maybe it's some acidity, I don't know. But it also aids in your cheesecake not cracking, okay? So, I do. It's just a 1/4 cup and you do not taste it whatsoever in here. None at all. Put that over in here, and then I'm going to mix it up and scrape the sides one time to get all our mess out of the way. And we'll put it in our crust and get it baking. Y'all see, I'm just doing low or medium low, okay? Not getting any air into this cheesecake. We're going to treat him real special like that. Scraping my sides down. Scraping this too, because that's still got some of that cream cheese with the sugar in it. Let me get that all off of there. Down in there, you got to get it all mixed up. And your cream cheese, if it's room temperature, it creams really easy and you won't have any of those little bitty lumps in there. If it's still cold at all, it's going to be lumpy on you, okay? Okay! I think that's it, y'all. It looks beautiful. Beautiful. Let me scrape up from the bottom, make sure. Let's see here. I believe we're getting it. Let me clean this off. We sure don't want to waste any of this, do we? No, we do not. Okay, guys, I've got my springform pan. This is a 9-inch, like I told y'all, but I do have a 10-inch springform pan, and that's great too. If you want to do it a little bigger, it'll just be thinner pieces, and that's fine, and it might go longer, like cutting it for people, a bigger crowd. But just make sure you've got a pan that you can put this down in like that, because we're going to have to put him in a water bath to keep, that also helps him keep him from cracking or getting overbaked and keeps him good and moist. And I need to grab some heavy duty foil, y'all, to put all around the bottom of this so no water will get in there. I'll be right back. I forgot to get that before I got on here. Alright, y'all, I'm back. Let's see. Alright. And I use heavy duty, that way I know there's not going to be a leak in there. You know, if you've got some that's thinner, it might tear as you're doing this, so just make sure you don't have a tear in it. Y'all see how I'm just doing it all along the bottom, because that closes up pretty tight, and odds are it probably wouldn't leak any water in there, but I sure don't want to chance it. I'm going to get one more piece. I do it 2 times. I do not want any water to get in my cheesecake. That would mess the whole thing up. Alright guys, and y'all see what I'm doing. Something else I want to tell you when you're doing this. Do not let a piece of foil, say, be sticking up like that, because that cheesecake's going to rise and then it's going to fall back down as it bakes. And when it rises, it'll catch that little piece of foil, and then it's not going to lay back down the way it should, okay? So, how do I know that? Because, yes, I've done that before. But, so make sure your foil is not sticking up where that cheese can grab a hold of it, okay? Now then. Alright. So, yeah, before you get started, just make sure you've got a pan that your springform pan will fit down into comfortably so you can put a water bath around it. Alright guys, put all of this goodness in here. Yes. This is my favorite. This is my niece Paige's favorite too. She always likes me to make one. And I'm hoping they get to come this year. This year I've got a much smaller crowd than normally because of our lovely little virus going around everywhere. Don't we all just love it? I'm so sick and tired of even saying that word. I'm sick of it. Okay, y'all. Just sort of making sure it's kind of even, but it'll even out. Alright, guys. Wipe that up. I'm making a mess. And stick that in there like that. And I've got some water over here on the stove that I already have been heating. Not boiling, but you know, just get it good and warm so it won't have to take forever to heat up in your oven. And I'm going to pour it just about a quarter, somewhere between a quarter and half the way up, okay? That will keep him nice and moist. Will keep him from cracking. And also, in that water bath, it'll keep these outside pieces of the cheesecake from cooking too much so the inside can get done as well. If he's in a dry oven, I've noticed the outside will start to get a little more caramelized and done than before the middle can get done. And I'm going to cook him on 350 for about 45 minutes. And in 40 minutes, I'm going to check it. And I'll kind of just jiggle it like that. And if it's pretty set, it's going to move a little bit when you jiggle because it's so hot. But you'll be able to tell it will all have risen together the same and none will be still sinking down in the middle. And you'll know he's done. And when I do that, and he is done, like I say, about 40-45 minutes, all I'm going to do is turn my oven off and I'm going to open my oven door. And I'm going to let him totally cool down, sitting in my oven with my door open and the oven off, okay? Sitting in this water bath too. That also helps him not try to crack on you. And you know what? If it cracks anyway, he's going to taste just as good, isn't he? Alright guys, I will see y'all back here. Y'all are actually going to get to see something cooked today, huh?
I'm gonna come in here and be quiet.
I'm going to go feed the baby calf too
Okay.
before I head out.
Okay.
She's not family, she's just
Maybe. Hey, babe. Are you excited, babe? Good. Alright, let me see if I can get this. Please. Seriously? Oh, come on. Katie could stay here if she wants to, but she's probably going to want to come show us. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys. I've been trying to turn y'all on. Let's see here. There we go. I was going to show y'all what this cheesecake looks like because I told y'all leave him in the oven with your door wide open and off when he's ready. But I want to show you how it jiggles so you'll know what I'm talking about. So let me raise him up here. Okay, y'all see that? Can y'all see me kind of jiggling it? But it's done. Can you see that? Can you see that? Anyway, that's what it is. It's good and done. It's been 45 minutes on 350. And that water bath, you see how it kept it from cracking or anything. But I'm going to put it right down here. Y'all are right beside my oven. And I've got my door. I've got my door 3/4 of the way open, okay? So pretty well open all the way. And I turn my oven off. So it's just going to completely cool down there before I take it out of that water bath. And then I'm going to put it in the freezer. And I'll show y'all how I pack it up to put it in the freezer. But I'll just put it in a big plastic container. And I will leave it in that springform pan so it'll keep its shape. And you know, it won't like if it gets bumped in the freezer or something. So I'll leave it like that. But that's what I want to show y'all what it looked like when I got it out. Or whenever I quit cooking it. I'm having to run back around. I took this, I let this cool completely in the oven with the door open and the oven off, and I took it out of my little water bath and my foil wrap, and I put it out on the counter. I left the springform pan around it like I told y'all I was going to do. And what I want to tell you, I did first before I wrapped him up. First, I took paper towels, because you know how when you're thawing something, it'll sweat and maybe drip some water down in there, and that's a cheesecake and we don't want that to happen. So first I draped paper towels on it. That way if it sweats and condenses, then paper towels will absorb it. Yay! Not gonna waste these. And then I wrapped some foil around there, and then I wrapped him real good in plastic wrap, and I slid him into the freezer. And if I would have had, sometimes I've got like a big Rubbermaid container that I can put it down in and slide that in the freezer too. But I still put the paper towel over it and the foil because I want to not get any water as it thaws. And when I get ready to pull it out for Thanksgiving, I'll put it. I can get it out the morning of Thanksgiving, actually, is probably what I'll do. And I'll take everything off but that paper towel on the top, and I'll just let it thaw. And then before everyone gets here, I'll pop the outside of it off of there, that spring form, and I'll put it on a pretty cake plate. But I just want to show y'all what I do. Sometimes I've got a huge Ziploc bag, you know, those really big ones, and I can slide it in there too. So whatever you've got, just kind of wrap him up, protect him in the freezer. He's not going to have to be in there long, is he? But he thaws out, and he's just like I fresh baked it, and he's perfect. So I just want to show y'all what I did. I didn't want to leave y'all hanging.